Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Maximize Your Life with Esther. This evening, I want to talk about what I keep hearing, which is I can't wait till 2020 is over. Have you ever said that? Well, if you have, this video is just for you. I get that 2020 was a hard year for everyone in ways unimaginable. We lost loved ones. We had to do full remote learning for the first time. People lost their jobs. People became homeless. Some horrible things have happened in 2020. And I get that people want the year to be over so they can move on with their lives. Here's the problem. The problem is if we don't get the lessons from 2020, we will just repeat the same things. So 2020 can be gone, 2021 comes in, but if we still have the same habits, the same behaviors, and the same attitudes and lack of planning, we will get worse results than we did in 2020. So this evening, I would like to share a couple of tips, four in particular, on how to not only get through 2020, but to maximize your life to get ready for 2021. So the first thing it's important to do before any year leaves is to evaluate your life where we are. So many times people wait till New Year's Day to start their resolutions. That is not the time, because how you end something is how you begin another. So if we end this year not getting the lessons, not reflecting and evaluating, we're automatically going to start the next year the same way. So the first tip to maximizing your life for 2021 is to evaluate your life and the choices that we made this year. Look at the areas of your life that you were really satisfied with, and then look at the areas that you want to improve on, especially the ones that you found really had some challenges with it. You want to make sure you take some time and think about it. Think about the way you thought about things. Think about if it's your finances. Maybe your finances, for a lot of people, this was a wake-up call like never before. A lot of times we know we need to make some changes, but we're not willing to do it. So when we take the time to evaluate where we are in different areas of our lives, it helps us to now pinpoint what we need to work on. And then second thing we want to do is we want to create a plan. So many times we say, oh, I'm going to do that, and we never get to it. But actually writing down those areas that you want to improve in makes all the difference in the world. Because once you put it on paper, something about it makes it come alive. Something about it resonates more in your mind. So it's no longer just, oh, a thought. It becomes a goal because now you've written it down. I want to improve my marriage. I want to improve my relationship with my kids. I want to improve my finances. Once you write that down and that is an area you want to work on and improve, something happens. So the next step, which is the third step, after you first evaluate where you are in each area of your life and identify the areas you want to improve, then write down the areas you want to improve on. You want to set a goal. What is it you want to achieve? This is important because so many times people say, I want to be rich. Well, how much money is rich for you? Because rich for you is not rich for someone else. If you say, I want to improve my relationship, you have to say, I want to have better communication with my child. I want to be able to have warm feelings towards my spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend again. Putting specific words and specific things that you want helps you to be able to identify what it is when you come across it, or even what you're working towards. The next step you want to do is to actually write down a plan. Yeah, I know, it's in your head, but the problem with it in your head is that it's in your head, but when you write it down, it goes to your heart. So by writing down, here's what I plan to do to make a difference in this area, it helps you to now have an action step of what needs to happen next. So for example, if you want to improve your finances, you will then write down, I want to be done paying 2 credit cards by the end of this year. Or it could be something as simple as I want to start saving at least $20 a month so that I can have a rainy day account. So when things like COVID or anything crazy happens again in your life, you have money set aside so that you don't have to feel as much stress as you may have because you might have lost your job. So you want to actually write down a plan, okay? Not just your goal, but what are the steps you plan to take to get to that goal? And if it's a financial plan, as it is for many people, start small. So many times people say, okay, I'm going to start saving money. And they take their check and they put half of it in a bank. And then the next 2 weeks, they go take that half out. And then before they know it, they have no savings. So if you want to make your financial goals to save at least $10 a check, it sounds small, but it's important to start small so that you can build momentum. Because it's crazy to say I'm going to save $100 and you're still just looking for a job. But if you say, I'm going to start saving maybe $5 a day, maybe you're going to stop drinking that coffee once a week so that by the end of the month, $5, $5 the next, and $5 the next, you can have $20 saved that you will put in a rainy day account. That's if you have a financial goal. You have that plan written out. Let's say your plan is to improve your communication skills with your child or your spouse. Then you write down, I will spend quality time with my child at least once a week. Or I will find out what my husband's biggest challenge is right now and make a commitment to pray with him about it. It could be anything that you want to achieve, but the key is to actually have a plan, because without a plan, it's not going to happen. And I remember in my own life when financially I was in debt. I was in credit card debt because at the time I was not working and I was using my credit card to pay my bills. And I also ended up having to go to the doctor, and we all know those prices can be super high. But I made a commitment with myself when I saw that that credit card was increasing. I said, no more. I will get out of debt and I'm going to stay out of debt. And I've been able to do it, not because I had wishful thinking and not because I was so greatly disciplined, but I set a plan in motion. I figured out what I was going to need to do. And that is what I actually did. I wrote down, okay, there will be no more hanging out and eating out as I did before. I'm going to watch my eating habits so that I can stay away from going to the doctor. And in addition to that, every month, instead of paying the minimum of $25, when I start working again, I'm going to pay at least $100. So if I'm no longer using the credit card, which was one of the other plans I had in my plan system, I am now not only not using the card, I have a plan of how I'm going to pay it off. So many times we say, oh, I can't wait for the year to be over. I can't wait for this to be over. But the bottom line is, if we're bringing the same mentality to the situation in the next year or the next relationship, we're going to get the same results. And a famous man once said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. So if we want to maximize our lives, it is so important that we not only say, can't wait for this year to be over, but to say, I am going to be intentional about how and what I'm going to change in my life. So when 2021 comes in, I already have a plan in place. You don't wait till January 1st to now say, now I'm going to start going to the gym. Well, what happens if there's a snowstorm outside? Are you going to want to go? No. But if you actually have a plan in place, then you can say, okay, here's what I know might happen. So I'm going to prepare. I'm going to make sure I get up 30 minutes earlier than I normally do. And I'm going to make sure my gym clothes are ready. And whatever it is that normally gets in the way of you following up and following through, you're going to do that. The last and fifth final step you're going to do is so important, is to have accountability. Now, I know we live in a society, we don't want to be held accountable from anybody. Don't tell me what to do. But here's the beauty about accountability. Accountability allows you to follow through and keep your word. Because at the end of the day, we don't achieve the things that we say we want to do because we don't keep our own word. But something seems to happen when we not only share what we're going to do with others, but then we're accountable. And I don't know about you, but I know for me, there were certain areas in my life that I decided I needed accountability for. Because at the end of the day, if I want to improve and become the best that I can be, then that's what I'm going to need to do. So at one point, I actually had someone holding me accountable for going walking at least twice a week. And that was very important because people say, oh, you look so fit and healthy. And I'm like, yeah, but I love food. Like my family, we love food. And I learned early on, if you love food, then you better have a plan if you don't want to look like a house. And if you look like a house up there, that's up to you. But the bottom line was I knew that I needed some accountability. So at the end of the day, accountability helps us to succeed. And if you don't have someone in your life that can hold you accountable in those areas, then feel free to reach out to me because I am a life coach. I'm also an educational consultant. And a lot of times we think, oh, I don't need anybody. I can do it on my own. But there are some things in some areas that we could do on our own, but we would do better and get better results if we have accountability and someone to give us support, someone to help us see what areas or what are the things in our plan that we might need to adjust. And I would be glad to do those things with you. At the end of the day, I want everyone to be successful because at the end of the day, God has a great plan for all of us. But at the end of the day, faith without works is dead. So you could believe I'm going to be a billionaire, I'm going to be a millionaire, but what is your plan to become a millionaire? What is your plan to lose those 50 pounds? And so to maximize our lives, we can't say, oh, I can't wait for 2020 and do nothing now. We must take action now, one, by evaluating where we are in the areas that we want to improve in. Secondly, we need to write down what areas we want to improve in and actually create a plan for it. Third, we not only want to make a plan mentally, we want to write the actual plan down. What are the actual steps I will take, beginning with the end in mind, as Stephen Covey would say, to get to this goal? The next step we want to make sure is that we take an action each day to make it happen one step at a time. And the last step we want to do is we want to have someone to hold us accountable so that not only can we say we did it, but there's somebody else that you can celebrate with who knows the challenges that you've been through. So again, if you have said, I can't wait for 2020 to be over, I feel you. But what I challenge you to do is instead of waiting for it to be over, start planning now So your 2021 can be even more amazing because you have thought about what it is you want to work on and improve. You have made a plan for what it is you want to do and improve. You have action steps to it, and you have accountability, which makes all the difference in the world. And there's a famous man who once said, if you hit a wrong note, then make sure you make it right by what you play afterwards. So it doesn't matter what happened in 2020 in terms of, oh, my life is so bad. And yes, some horrible things happen. What matters is what we do about it right now. Not when January comes or December 31st comes, but right now, before Thanksgiving, before the holidays come and everybody's thinking about everything else but their lives. Take that time out. Take time to reflect. Take time to see what areas you want to improve. And please reach out to me at esterspeaksout@gmail.com. And if there's something that I said in here that can help you or help anybody else, please leave a comment and please share this video with everybody you know, especially if you've heard them say, I can't wait for 2020 to be over. Thanks and have a great night. This is Esther with Maximize Your Life. I want you to have the best life possible that God has for you. Take care. Bye-bye.